Everybody, let's see if I can get you situated a little bit better. Everybody, welcome to this corner of the kitchen. This is Okies Eden Pumpkin Bisque. Yes, I know it's not a true to form bisque. It doesn't have like a seafood or crustacean broth. That's okay. I have chicken broth. That's what I'm bringing to the table. It's mostly farm to table. Unfortunately, I hope everybody can hear me. Unfortunately, I ran out of my own chicken stock. So I had to buy chicken broth. It's the nature of the beast. I used it the other day for a recipe. I didn't get a chance to make any more. How you doing, Paula? Oop. Hold on. Gotta have some cream for this. So this is gonna use my pumpkin puree, 2 cups. This is just for one person. I've halved it because it was made for 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. So I halved the size of the recipe. But this is my pumpkin puree from my garden. I did not strain this because I'm making a soup, so the liquid here is fine. Not so much in a pumpkin bread or a pumpkin cheesecake. You want to remove the liquid. I'm also using my own garlic, which I just harvested a couple weeks ago. It has been drying in the back, and I have 1 clove of that ready to go. Medium low. We're gonna get this baby going on medium low. Never use high when you're doing a cream soup. I'm gonna be sauteing some onions and some garlic. You don't want burnt garlic in your soup, bisque, or whatever. It just does not taste well. So while that heats up, that's gonna be on a medium low. I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of onion. These are my onions. These are from my garden. I am going to I did put in about 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil first. And we are going to let the onions cook for just a couple of minutes. Let them get translucent, let them soften up a little bit. That's what we want. While that is happening, I am going to take my handy dandy chopping knife, and I am going to chop up some fresh garlic. 1 clove. This is elephant garlic, so the cloves are bigger, okay? The cloves are very big. So I'm gonna add that just before I add the bisque. I'm gonna let the onions heat up a little bit. I can smell them already. They smell really good. Then I'm going to add the garlic about 30 seconds to a minute before I add the puree. You don't want to overcook. You don't want to overcook the garlic. You want the garlic to infuse with the oil, and you want it to become fragrant. Once it becomes fragrant, I can start adding the bisque. I can start adding my puree. So this is heating up very nice, smells very good in here. Remember, I'm working with a cream soup. So don't go above medium high. Once you do that, you burn the milk or the cream or whatever you're using. It is not good. So again, I'm using 2 cups of my unseasoned puree. This has just pumpkin that has been baked and then put in my food processor. There's nothing in here yet other than pumpkin. Okay. Oh, it smells really good in here right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my garlic, that's 1 clove of elven garlic, that I chopped on my solid oak. This is reclaimed oak cutting board I made years ago. So now I'm going to add my garlic. Remember, I don't want the garlic to burn. I want to go about 30 seconds to a minute. I'm starting to smell it. I'm going to give it a little bit longer to infuse with the oil. I just want the garlic to be a little bit soft and fragrant. I only used one clove. The reason I do that, some recipes call for 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. The star of this show is puree. It's pumpkin. It's called pumpkin puree. It's not called garlic puree. It's not called onion puree. It's called pumpkin puree. So it smells really good in here. I can smell the onion. I can smell the garlic. Okay, I'm on about medium right now. I'm going to turn that back down just a touch, medium low. Now let's add the pumpkin puree. As usual, the recipe will be placed in the description later, but for now, it is a 1/4 cup of onion, chopped fine. It is 1 clove of garlic, heated in oil just till it's fragrant. Don't overdo it. Then I have 2 cups of my pumpkin puree from my garden, and 2 tablespoons of virgin olive oil. I'm going to let that heat through. Many bisques, many pumpkin soups, potato soups, they will have you boil the pumpkin or the potato to the puree stage. Mine is already baked. I've already baked my puree and already processed it because I'm freezing it. So this has already been processed. I don't have to boil down chunks of diamond. My wife's favorite color is purple. When we bought this place, it was wrecked. We got it for a really good price. I refurbish homes a lot. And then she said, "Do you mind painting the kitchen purple?" I said, "I don't care. I just want a clean house and a workable kitchen." This is a very workable kitchen. I don't care if it was black, orange, pink, or plaid. It works great. I don't care about colors. I really don't. I just want the house clean. I do the cleaning mostly, so I clean it to my level of cleanliness. So this is now heating. It smells really good in here. I'm not letting this get carried away, okay? Yes, I'm using a tasting spoon. Do not judge me. Really good. I'm going to turn it up just a little over medium. Now, as that simmers, the garlic and the onion will infuse with the pumpkin puree. Couple things. I'm going to be adding my spices, okay? What I have is a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, black pepper. You can use white pepper. I don't care. If you're cooking it, I don't care. I have a 1/4 cup of nutmeg, quarter teaspoon of nutmeg, quarter teaspoon of ginger, quarter teaspoon of allspice, half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I don't use cloves. I'm not a clove fan. If you want to add cloves, go for it. It's good. I know cloves, people put it in pumpkin pie and everything else. I don't really care for cloves. This is my spicing. You'll notice the absence of salt. I'm not going to salt it yet because I don't want to over salt it. I'll wait till the end because I'm going to be adding my chicken stock, which is low sodium, but it still has salt. If you're using chicken stock or you're using something else that's seasoned, a seasoned salt, I wait till the end. I don't just toss salt in willy-nilly because you over salt it, you've destroyed the dish. Okay, we are warming up really good. And that's what we're looking like so far, if you can see that, okay? What I do want to add, before, I'm going to add the spices here in a second, okay? You probably see, oh, what does Okie have over here? Why does he have all this stuff that he hasn't talked about? Some people like turmeric. Turmeric does have some really good healthy properties to it. It has a good earthy flavor if you like it. I'll include it later as something if you want to add it. I like turmeric. I might add some. Because of the color of the puree, you won't see the color of the turmeric. It'll just blend. Once I start adding the cream, it is going to dilute the color of the pumpkin. If you are really set on having a deeper color pumpkin bisque, creamy pumpkin soup, you can add a little smoked paprika. I'm going to see at the end. That's why I've left these here. I might add turmeric. I like turmeric. I drink a turmeric milk sometimes, and I do like my paprika. Okay, it is warmed through now. Now I'm going to add my warming spices. Again, quarter teaspoon black pepper, quarter teaspoon of nutmeg, quarter teaspoon of ginger, quarter teaspoon of allspice, half a teaspoon of cinnamon. So let's add those. I'm adding them now because I want these to be in the puree. And I want them to marry and combine with the pumpkin puree. That's important, okay? This is the reason why I don't season my puree before I freeze it for pumpkin pie, because I may want to make bisque. I may want to make pumpkin bread. I'm going to season it differently. So I don't season my bisque because I don't want it to taste exactly like pumpkin pie. I want it to have a hearty, more of a savory instead of a sweet. Now you're probably saying to yourself, oh no, Okie just threw cinnamon in there, but he didn't throw any sweetener in there. What is Okie doing? Is he drunk? Has Okie been tipping on Grandpa's cough medicine? Maybe he has. I don't know. He hasn't. I'm going to add, you can add honey if you like honey. You can add sugar if you like sugar. But I always keep on hand pure New York maple syrup. Pumpkin, maple syrup, just scream fall. You put pumpkin, put some syrup on it, or you put syrup, maple syrup on sweet potatoes. It just enhances it, in my opinion. So instead of 2 tablespoons of sugar or 2 tablespoons of some kind of other sweetener, I'm using pure New York State maple syrup. If you want, honey would be just as good. If I had honey, I would use it, but I really love maple syrup. So this is heated through. And again, it's my house, my rules. I have a taste spoon. That's really, really good. Now, because I do like turmeric and I know it has good healthy properties, I am going to throw in a heaping, it's probably a half teaspoon, but I am going to throw in some turmeric into the mix. You don't have to. I like turmeric, I like the earthy flavor. So I'm going to stir that in. Okay, we are doing really good here. Oh, this, if you could smell this right now, that's what we're looking at right now. Okay. I'm going to add 1 cup chicken broth. Yes, I know everybody's going to say, where's the chicken broth? Where's your homemade chicken broth? I ran out. I had a whole bunch made up. I used the last quart from my freezer the other day. Okay, so now I'm thinned out, right? So now I got my soup going, okay? Now look at that. See that? That's looking really good. Like I said, I haven't added salt yet because I've added chicken stock and I've added a lot of spices. A lot of times when you add that many spices and you add chicken stock, even though it's low sodium, it's going to add salt. Don't over salt. So I'm going to bump the heat up to a little over medium, and I'm going to let this simmer. All of these flavors are now coming together in here. Okay, all the flavors are in the pool. It's looking good. Okay, I'm not going to touch that spicing. That spicing tastes spot on. This is going to heat up for a while. I start, the recipe is going to call for 2 cups of chicken stock. I am starting with 1. The reason I'm starting with 1 is this. I like my creamy soup to be thicker. I can add 2 cups, but I don't want a thin soup. If I wanted a soup that I wanted to sip on, like a cup of soup, or a broth type soup, I would add more chicken stock, more beef stock, more vegetable stock, whatever I had. It's a cream soup, it's a bisque, it's supposed to be thick. Like a potato soup, it's supposed to have some thickness. It's supposed to be hearty, it's supposed to eat like a meal. And I do have my toasted, if you can see these, I have my toasted seeds and my red pepper flakes for garnish at the end. So this is starting to simmer. It smells really, really good. Like I said, this is a quick bisque to make because I have already pureed the pumpkin. I didn't start with chunks of pumpkin like you do with a potato soup. It was already pureed. So it's just basically putting all of the stuff together and then warming it up and getting it together. So I'm not going to measure, okay? I'm going to do about 2 tablespoons. I'm guessing. That's a 1. That's a 2. I feel so bad if you've never had pure maple syrup. Pure maple syrup is delicious. And I'm not talking the corn syrup with the maple flavoring from the store. I'm talking pure maple syrup where they boil 40 gallons of sap to get 1 gallon of syrup. Okay. We're simmering. Looking really, really good. Smelling really, really good. I'm hoping you You can all see that. If liquid gold, if you melted down pure gold, I think it would taste like that. I'll turn my heat down a little bit. I'm just letting the flavors come together now. It's simmering just a little bit. Now, because this is a cream soup, you can probably guess I'm going to be adding some cream. Typically, I would add heavy cream. Okay, I'm a heavy cream person. I don't care about the high fat content. I want heavy cream. They did not have it at the store this morning. I had to get half and half. I'm sorry, half and half. Now, I know Chef Zed is here. A few other people are here that use a lot of coconut milk. I'll tell you right now, if I had it in my pantry or my refrigerator, this would be a great dish to have coconut milk in. You can substitute coconut milk for cream or milk. It would actually probably taste even better than just cream or milk, having a little bit of a coconut flavor in there. So that is heated through. I'm just letting that simmer down. It's thickening again. We're gonna let it continue to thicken. I am going to add only 1/2 cup of half and half, okay? Half a cup. So there's a half a cup. Now remember, a couple things you can do. I could add a cup. I could have added a cup. But if I added too much, I can't take it back out. But I could let it simmer down. But you can see half a cup. Look what half a cup did, how it changed the whole color of that soup. So now, since I'm going to turn my heat up a little bit, you let it simmer a little bit. I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes. Yes, I'm using the same spoon because I'm the only one that's going to be eating this. If I was sharing this dish, I would use different spoons. Okay, the maple syrup's coming through, the cream is coming through, turmeric's coming through. I love the taste of turmeric. If you don't use it. One thing I am going to change is cinnamon. I called in the original recipe, it calls for 1/2 teaspoon. I am going to bump that. I want a little more cinnamon because I like cinnamon. Now that I've added the maple syrup and it's sweetened it a little bit, that maple syrup just really pops in there now. So you can see, this is not taking long. This would have been done by now, but no, you know, Okies has to yap, 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 okay? You would have had this done already. This is a very quick dish, especially if you've made it with a puree instead of trying to boil everything down. I think 1/2 cup of cream is perfect for 2 cups of puree, in my opinion. If you want it thinner, add more. If you want it thicker, use less. Now, I do need to add my salt. And let me just throw this question out there. We have had these are Tupperware. We've had these our entire childhood. Who else has one of the Tupperware salt and pepper shakers? We have 2 sets of these, and I have the little set we used to use for camping. Who has a set of these? So now I'm going to toss some salt in. I am not going to give an amount. I'm just going to add salt to taste in the when I put it in the description. Add it to taste. Everybody's taste for salt is different. But I will tell you right now, this smells unbelievable. I mean, it smells great in here. I mean, okay. That was probably a half a teaspoon of salt, and I'm calling it at that. I'm not adding any more salt. It is delicious. Now, excuse me. While I'm letting it simmer, I forgot I had a fresh cup of coffee. So, this has come together really, really nice. And I kind of want to show you, I'm going to be eating it from this cup. And I want to show you, I'm going to dump this back in, but there's the color so far, okay? It smells really, really good. Between the sweetness of the pumpkin and the sweetness of the maple syrup, I only use 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. It's mostly from the pumpkin. It tastes great. Now, like I said, I want to, if you want to change, if you like it to be a deeper color, essentially the soup, the bisque is done, so I can shut this heat off. It's probably a gravy consistency, like if you were doing biscuits and gravy, that is the consistency. Or if you do a chicken or turkey beef gravy, whatever, that's the consistency. So with that said, starting with 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. Paprika will change the color. It won't change the flavor that much. I want the color a little bit darker. Okay, that's enough for me. It kind of gives it an orange color to it, okay? Just gonna let that, I'm gonna let that settle in. I'm gonna let the flavors go a little bit. Typically, if I was gonna serve this to a crowd, I wouldn't serve it today. Tomorrow, it is going to smell so much, it's going to taste and smell so much better that it's really going to be unbelievable the very next day. Much like Italian food or Chinese food or Indian food, a lot of times, while they taste great when you cook them, in my opinion, the next day, things, how big was the pumpkin? That pumpkin was 12 inches, 13 inches in diameter. Allison, I got 10 cups of puree out of one pumpkin, which typically on the smaller ones I'm getting about 2. So, okay. This is done. Everything has come together, all the flavors have come together. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve myself a dish. I am sprinkling on my baked pumpkin seeds and red pepper flake. I like a little bit of spice in my soup. Red pepper flake. I hope you guys can see that, how that's coming through. We're gonna talk now for a few minutes. Let's do this. Let's come over here. Zoom. All right, all right. Oh, hey, Explorer, how you doing? Flip a light on here. There we go. All right, so that is basically pumpkin bisque. Very simple recipe. Like I said, because I talked through the live, it took longer than it actually takes to make. You can literally make this in 15 or 20 minutes. And then my recommendation, let it set overnight. If you let it set overnight, all of the flavors come together better, they marry together better. Like I said, like Italian food, like Indian food, like Jamaican food, any ethnic food that uses a lot of spices, in my opinion, the next day they're even better. Chinese food, the next day to me is just is really good. So that is perfect. It's creamy. It's got a little bit of bite from the red pepper flakes. The turmeric is coming through. I like turmeric. If you don't like turmeric, leave it out. Turmeric has, if you've never had it, number one, turmeric does have some health benefits. But number two, it has a really good, it's a strong earthy flavor. If you don't like earthy flavor, you won't like it. If you like earthy flavor, I like potatoes. I like sweet potatoes. I like things that have grown underneath the soil. So I like turmeric. I like paprika. I like that kind of stuff. I like curry. And I like the spicy stuff. But you can see, if I hold this up, the paprika took it from a yellow to kind of, it almost looks like a pea soup color. I love pea soup. But this is, What I'm going to do is, now I'm gonna let that cool. I'm gonna have just this small bowl here. That's gonna get sealed up in some vacuum sealed containers. And I'm going to sous vide it next time. So what's gonna happen is when I pull all that air out and seal it, all of those flavors are gonna be there for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month. And it'll come together even better. Yes, Zed, you are correct. Allison, happy anniversary. That's awesome. So please remember, tomorrow I'm going to do another short live. I'm going to do pumpkin bread with my puree. So I have that recipe ready to roll. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, I'm gonna throw down another recipe. I hope you like these videos. I am not a pro chef, I never will be. I just cook the way I cook. I cook to what makes me happy, and I cook the way my family likes it. And I just do the best I can, and it's gonna be healthy, it's gonna be farm to table. But I'm gonna do pumpkin bread tomorrow, 11 a.m. And then Thursday, Okies is gonna make so many people upset. You watch on Thursday. If they were in my house, there'd be hands being thrown. They'd be attacking me and fighting me. I'd have to use all of my jiu-jitsu and Chuck Norris style moves to evade and block all of the attacks. I'm doing biscuits. I'm gonna do biscuits. And I can tell you right now, never, 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 let me just give this advice right up front. Never as a northerner go to the south and make biscuits. Going to antique store in Ardmore, have you been? Let's see. If you're going to the one that's on Main Street, yes. There's one or two on Main Street, and what I would recommend is when you're going down Main Street in Ardmore, on the right side, as you get towards the end, you're going to see Main Street Coffee. That is my best, favorite, most favorite coffee shop of all time. I love it in there. It is delicious coffee. Hey, Nicole's Recipes, how you doing? And then I think right across the street is one of the antique stores. It's down a block or two, but it's across the street. And then there's a place called Something Sweets right next door to the coffee shop, Allison. It's Something Sweets. They have about 500 records in there. That's one of the places I would like to do a live, yes, yes. The other one is down in Marietta, which is, 15 miles, 20 miles south from Ardmore. That lady there I know personally at the one in Marietta. She just bought her building. She's starting to refurbish it for the coffee shop, so it would be November before we can get in there. But yes, I have kind of talked to her about it, and she wants to do it. But yeah, as you go up Main Street, you got Main Street Coffee, you got an antique shop, and you got Something Sweets, it's called. I can't remember the name of it, but they have tons of records in there. They have candy, they have trinkets, they have a bunch of stuff that's on commission, and then they have records. I just got 2 John Denver records there the other day. 2 John Denver records that I used to have in my collection as a kid. But anyways, here is the puree. That's very good. By tomorrow, it's gonna be even better. But like I said, I'm gonna freeze this batch so I have soup throughout the winter. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. is pumpkin bread. Please be here for that. Thursday is a free-for-all where I'm doing biscuits, and I'll have Southerners coming at me and fighting me and everything, and I gotta fight them off. Because I have a plan. My plan is I am making the bisque, and around Thanksgiving time, Nicola, no, there is a Marietta, Georgia, and there's a Marietta, Oklahoma. I'm talking about Marietta, Oklahoma. Marietta, Georgia is bigger. Marietta, Oklahoma is a very small city. But my goal is, I'm taking this bisque, I'm going to add a little bit of roux or beurre Marnier to thicken it and cream it up a little bit. I'm gonna make biscuits around Thanksgiving. Then I'm gonna take this with a roux or something, maybe a little bit of cheese in there, make it thicker. And then I'm gonna take chopped up roasted turkey, and I'm going to make a Thanksgiving breakfast that is homemade biscuits fresh out of the oven with a turkey and pumpkin bisque over the top and a side of apple cranberry compote that I make. That's gonna be like a post-Thanksgiving breakfast. So that's why I'm gonna do the biscuits real quick so people know how I make biscuits. You don't have to make them like me, but this is the way I make them. People are gonna say, oh, you're doing it wrong. My grandmother did it this way and my father did it this. That's all fine. Everybody does them a little bit different. Oh, have you seen the cinnamon butter? Yes. I saw that, yes. So hopefully, if I'm still on this earth, who knows? I mean, I could be out in my garden. I could have a stroke and I could pass out and they could just bury me in my garden and I won't be here for Thanksgiving. I don't know. But if I'm here at Thanksgiving, I want to do a pumpkin bisque gravy with roasted turkey over biscuits, apple cranberry compote. And I might even do a side, which I've done before. I haven't done it on film, but I'll do my banana bread, which then I put in my cream and egg wash and cinnamon and make a banana bread French toast for the side with pure maple syrup. I hope that all sounds good, but that's where we're headed. Yeah. Yeah, we do a great Thanksgiving dinner. I do a turkey. I do a full turkey in the oven. I'll do from scratch stuffing. I'll do mashed potatoes. I do the rough mash. But yeah, that's going to be a really good breakfast. And I love French toast, but when you take homemade banana bread and then you put maple syrup on it after you cook it in the pan, it is really, really good. So with that said, everybody, that is the pumpkin bisque. It's a very simple recipe. It will take you less than a half an hour if you have puree. You don't have to make the puree yourself. You can buy the canned puree, throw it in, put your spices in with your chicken stock or vegetable stock, your maple syrup or honey, and all your spices. Make it that way. It'll take you less than a half an hour. You can have soup in the freezer for weeks. You can make up, just one big pot and then put it in a bowl at a time and seal it up each bag. And then you have soup whenever you want soup. If you're sick, you're having a bad day, you just need some comfort food, you go grab a bag out of there, you toss it in some boiling water, let it sous vide for a little bit, take it out, dump it in a bowl, throw some pumpkin seeds on it or some crushed red pepper flake, and you're good to go. So with that said, pumpkin puree. Get that out of my face. Pumpkin puree. Hope you like this. We'll see you guys later. See you tomorrow at 11 o'clock for pumpkin bread. Be there or be square.